Okay, today we got Mallory Van Horn. Curious if it's going to be a good one or a bad one.
I feel so bad for this generation of men. And the reason why I say that is I know people will come for me because they always have to come for men. But I feel like there's worse women now than there are worse men. Do you know what I mean? Like in the past, there was better quality women and then there was just men that were players. But now men actually want to get married and they want to settle down, but women are cheating.
Okay, so what you're starting to realize is even though what she's saying, there's truth in it. The one thing I don't like is this idea that, oh, men in the past, they were players. Let's remember this detail. Men are designed to be players. I'm not saying that they shouldn't control that to some degrees, especially within their means, but men are designed to be players. So you can still argue that this is a more balanced system. Aside from that point, though, what I think is important to understand is that it's all about incentive. You have to ask yourself the question, who's more likely to abuse their power if they have the power position? Is it men or is it women? We now have enough of a distribution of time to be able to look in the past, look at that time frame, and then look now and see this time frame and understand, okay, which one's better or worse and why? When you give someone the power position, obviously you open the door to them abusing that power. Both men and women will abuse power if they have too much. The question I always have is who's more likely to abuse it? My obvious opinion is that the feminine is always going to be responsible for chaos. Because of that, and because I think women are obviously going to be more feminine than men, women are more likely to abuse that power than men. You could argue from a moralistic or idealistic perspective, either way is bad, but I think it's about choosing the lesser of two evils. Let's keep going.
Like they're actually cheating. And what's crazy is like I know women that are cheating and they're super innocent and like their man has no idea. And it's like it saddens me. It saddens me so much because now when I talk to men, they're super damaged by these women and it's like when has this ever happened in the past?
The damage occurs from misplaced expectation. So when you expect X and you get completely different Y, the gap between those two will determine the amount of damage. People before in the earlier times were more aware of the realities of how things operated. Sure, you had a minor fantasy that you wanted to happen, but you weren't so disappointed or crushed when it didn't happen exactly as you wanted it to. The level of fantasy now versus the past is way higher. That difference between the fantasy and the reality is so big now that that damage kicks in only because of that expectation. Cheating and infidelity is always going to be an aspect of humanity. I guess the goal is to try to regulate it as best as we can, but if we overregulate it, now you're interfering in the natural process of mating. Obviously, cheating is a negative thing, but I feel like there's so much emphasis constantly on cheating. Everyone's always talking about cheating. In a liberated society, cheating is only going to go up. You give people the freedom to explore their options, and they're definitely going to do so. On top of this, we've also raised the value of the social construct of a relationship, which doesn't make any sense because relationships in reality have gone down in value, but from the perspective of society, they somehow now become equivalent to being married. If we're going to go by the Christian standard, any sexuality outside of marriage is already fornication. You fornicating with one person or another is equal in that sense. Dating and being in a relationship is not the same as marriage, even though these days the two have sort of become the same. My ultimate point on this is to stop having such a stark expectation that people won't cheat. The more you try to force this standard upon people, the more they're going to want to resist and do it anyways. Instead of just saying cheating is bad, understand the reasons why women cheat, understand the reasons why men cheat, analyze it critically, and come to an understanding. Saying cheating is bad won't accomplish anything. Understand the root cause respectively, and then engage in behavior that will prevent that from happening.
Like women are more dogs and ran through than men nowadays.
Well, the truth is, when it comes to being ran through, it's not like a guy can be ran through. This is a false feminist concept.
Like I just feel bad. I feel bad for men. It's like they don't trust women anymore and they especially don't trust good-looking women. Like I'm screwed out here.
It wouldn't be a video made by a girl if she didn't somehow circle it back to herself somewhere.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just my perspective, but I feel bad for you guys.
You have to understand, right? When there's so many good looking girls that capitalize or monetize their looks, yeah, I mean, you're going to be put in a camp automatically because guys are going to see you and think, oh, well, she has tons of options. What's truly stopping her? It's just basic 1 + 1 = 2 math.
Let me know in the comments if that's what you experience as a man, because that's all I've been listening to. Like, these men are like, I just want to get married and find the one, but these women keep cheating on me and doing this and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's bad.
Men want to find a relationship in marriage because they have to. For a lot of guys these days, they see it as their only chance at ever getting a girl. Before, things were more cut and dry. It was much more clear before that a man offers much more tangible value than a woman does. Because of this, guys understood they had leverage, so they weren't immediately rushing to get married. These days, the average guy has to bring far more to the table to even get any interest from a woman whatsoever. This is the only reason why you're seeing so many guys that want to get married. Trust me, if you go back to a world where that's not the case, you'll see really quickly that a lot of guys will not want to be married again. The sad part, of course, is that girls don't necessarily want those guys that really want to get married. I hear this problem coming from the churches all the time. A lot of guys in the church, they meet a girl they really like, and they immediately start angling for marriage. The girl obviously knows why, and then has to reject him. Let's stop pretending like guys want marriage because they actually want to get married. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.